Well, welcome in everybody here to Burford Field on this Thursday evening as your hometown Lindsay Leopards get set to go up against the arch rival, Washington Warriors. Got a good ball game on tap here tonight, Eric. We're coming in 5-1, highly ranked in the state. Washington comes in obviously 6-0. Dealing with some injuries of their own. No, they're going to have a few guys try to give it a go here tonight that will either determine whether they're going to play after the first series or a couple of series. So Washington's coming in a little bit banged up. As far as I know, Lindsay, they're on the up and up as far as health goes. I expect to see Bentley Kessler back in action tonight. No, Kessler's not playing actually. Okay, check that. My fault. But do have Andon Register, who's stepped up in a huge way over the past few weeks since Kessler's gone down with the ankle injury. So again, Washington coming in here 6-0, ranked number 1 in the state. They're coming off of a 14-1 season. Absolutely ran through all of Class 2A last season, and they run up against the Buzzsaw, the Marlowe Outlaws in the state finals last year. And again, back-to-back seasons, they lose a nail-biter. They've lost consecutive state championship games by, I believe, and don't quote me on that, I want to say it was 6 points is what they've lost. They're 2 games by a total of in the state championship. So this football team, they did lose a ton of senior leadership last year, but you know the story in Washington. It's almost a reload up there. They have kids that start out at, the little league, young guys. They bring them up through that system, and by the time they're freshmen, Eric, they're ready to play.
Yeah, you watch it, it seems like they just reload every year. It's like the Alabama of Oklahoma. They graduate all the players and they go off to the NFL. Well, Washington, they send them off to college, and the next class up, it's just next man up. And they just reload, and it seems like they're always talented. They're always well coached. Just a really good football program all the way around. And tonight's going to be a good game. I think with the injuries with Washington, and I think it could be a closer matchup and a good matchup for the Leopards. And, Leopards are going to see where they're at.
Yeah, this is definitely this is kind of getting into the meat of their schedule. You got Washington here tonight, obviously. CCS comes into town next week. They got a Division I commit. Job, he's committed to Michigan State, I believe. And then you got to hit the road the following week. You got to go out to Frederick. Frederick's no slouch. So these next three weeks is really going to determine the seeding, your top 4 in this 2A3 district. Let's just look back real quick. 2014. Washington Warriors 11-2. 15, they were 11-2. 2016, this is a down year, Eric, 8-4. 2017, they go 12-3, 10-3, 12-1, 12-2, 14-1, and like I said, back-to-back state finals appearances, over the past 2 seasons. So Coach Beller's got these guys playing some great football. Again, they come in 6-0, ranked number 1 in the state. This is a ball game here tonight, man, where without mentioning it, but everything that's happening here in the community of Lindsay over the past few days, this is going to be a test for Lindsay. It was going to be a test regardless because Washington's such a great football team, but it's going to be really interesting to see how Lindsay can come out tonight and respond after the events of the past week or so. And I think Coach Hembry and the Leopard coaching staff, they got their hands full. Obviously preparing for Washington, but put that on top of it, it's going to be very interesting to see how these guys come out, and hopefully they come out and they're playing inspired football, and they can come out here and knock this Washington Warrior football team off tonight.
Yeah, Jake, preparing for Washington, and this game is always emotional anyway.
Yep.
And with recent events here in town, and it's just going to be that much more added on top of it, just like you said. And the coaches, I know, have been with those boys since day one, since the horrific events that happened. And I think the camaraderie and being around the players, being around each other has really helped them.
Yeah.
But tonight, it's just going to be super emotional. It's going to be emotional for me, and the whole community really is just kind of mourning right now.
Yeah, and jump back over here to Washington offensively. They're going to run that spread option attack. They're also going to try to throw it around a little bit. They're going to do multiple things on that offensive side of the ball. You got Major Cantrell, 5'11", 180-pound junior coming in. He rushed for 2,500 yards and 33 touchdowns last year. Also another big guy, Cole Scott, and running back, 5'10", 185-pound senior. He ran over 1,900 yards and 31 touchdowns by himself there. Also wide receiver, is going to be Cage Morris. He stands 6'3", 180 pounds. That is a big time target out there on the edge. So Lindsey's going to have to pay close attention to him. Then you want to jump over to the defensive side of the ball. They're going to run a 4-3 and try to disguise what they do defensively. Try to keep Lindsey off pace. Keep them out of their element. Keep them uncomfortable. One guy to talk about. Actually, a couple of guys we'll talk about here. Ben Vaughn, 5'10", 150 pound. He's an outside linebacker. Kid is productive as all get out. He flies to the ball. He makes tackles. He's been a starter since, I believe, his sophomore year. Then another guy here, we got Nate Roberts, 6'4", 210 pounder. And I tell you what, we'll keep it here as Doyle Gredeman's going to talk a little bit.
Tristan Mack, an exceptional 17-year-old who is intelligent, personable, and physically very, very strong. If Tristan could speak to you tonight, I believe he'd say that football is important and life is short. Enjoy the fierce rivalry, but when the game's over, show class, win or lose. Tristan would add that none of us are guaranteed another day. So tonight, hug your loved ones a little tighter and never, ever be afraid to tell them how much you love them. Lindsey's a whole lot sadder tonight. It's been a hard week. But we're all a whole lot better tonight because Tristan was a part of our lives. Go rest high on that mountain, Tristan. You were a mountain of a man. This time, please direct your attention to the west end zone as our veterans raise our flag while the pride of Lindsey leads us in our national anthem. And as soon as the anthem is over, we'd like to ask all of the adults to please join the Lindsey.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hi, I'm Ben Long, an agent with Oklahoma Healthcare Exchange. During this year's annual enrollment, we wanted you to know that you have a local solution for all your Medicare and health insurance needs. Our agents live and work throughout the entire great state of Oklahoma. Whether you're in Lindsey, Ardmore, Lawton, McAllister, or any of the major metropolitan areas. Give us a call to learn more at 855-786-8343. Again, that phone number is 855-786-8343. And we look forward to hearing from you.
Welcome back, everybody, here, Burford Field. We're about 4 minutes away from getting this thing kicked off here tonight. Jake Rutledge alongside Eric Dodson and partner. This is on tap. This game on tap is it's set up to be a darn good matchup here. Looking forward to this one as we signed off there just before the national anthem. One guy I want to talk about on the defensive side of the ball there for Washington, Nate Roberts, 6'4", 215-pound sophomore. This kid's going to line up at defensive end. Also going to play a little tight end on the offensive side of the ball. Look for him tonight to make some sort of an impact. He's a big kid, super aggressive, super fast. Everything I've read about him, anything I've seen on him. So that's another one out there. Offense and defense both. Washington's going to have a couple of big kids out there. So defensively, Lindsey's going to have to pay attention to the big wideout. Obviously, the big tight end they're going to have to pay attention to as well. I wasn't paying any attention there. Who ended up winning that toss? Did we catch it?
I didn't see it.
I wasn't paying attention either. We'll get that sorted out here in just a minute. But again, about 3 minutes away from getting this thing kicked off here, and want to talk real quick about what Dole Greneman had to say. Very well said, coming from Dole. Great job. Obviously spoke a little bit about Tristan and what he meant to the community here, and had nothing but good words to say about Tristan. So we appreciate Dole doing that and doing it flawlessly. Never broke, never cracked. He did a darn good job. So it takes a lot to do with a microphone in your hand for sure.
Yeah, Jake, looks like we have a few hundred people out there on the spirit line.
Yeah, that's the biggest spirit line I've seen at Burford Field. So, and Greneman did. He mentioned all the adults that could make their way down to the spirit line, please do so. So, pretty good response there by the adults, and then other kids that might not necessarily always get to come out, and then you also get to a few of the Washington students. They made their way out there. Hats off to those young folks for realizing the situation and coming and showing their support as well. And we greatly appreciate that from those youngsters. As the Washington Warriors take the field, about a minute and a half away from kickoff here. And again, this is a big matchup. Lindsey comes in 5-1. They're on a pretty good roll. Had a good win last week against Little Axe. Started a little bit slow in that first half. Honestly, it was a little bit sluggish, but they turned it around pretty quick and came out in that second half and it snowballed in the correct way. It took off, and then final score there 44-0 and 5-1. So here we go, 5-1, 6-0. This is what it's all about, man. We got Channel 9 in the house here tonight. They're gonna be shooting a little bit, doing a little filming. For one reason, you mentioned Robin Marsh, one of the anchors there at News 9, been there forever. She did a story on Tristan and even put something out on Facebook today. So again, greatly appreciate her doing that and reaching out to the community, and Channel 9 is going to be here and not only in remembrance and doing some things, getting some shots of Tristan's jersey or the number out there on the 50, but this is a big time ball game, so rightly so having Channel 9 here in the house tonight. So
yeah, coaches, they got a big job to do all weekend tonight to prepare these kids with all the events that have happened and to be able to coach them for the biggest game of the year. Our rival in Washington, the Big Red Machine. So it's going to be a good matchup tonight. I hope the Leopards can put it on them.
10 seconds away here. And yeah, with all that being said, obviously, circumstances are tough, tragic event, but just to come out here and have these guys ready to go up against the Washington, as you mentioned, the Big Red Machine, they're a powerhouse. These guys, and we talked about it in the pregame. They're back-to-back state semi, or state finals appearances. So Washington, they bring in a good club year in, year out, and that's just one of those things that they're coached well. They learn their system, they know everything about it, and they come out usually on every Friday night and put a good showcase on. So it'll be interesting tonight just to see if the Leopards can respond, because once all this is over with, the spirit line clears, ref blows the whistle. Best you can, you've got to kind of forget about the situation and everything that went on, and then and move on. It's time to play football. So because Washington, they're going to come out, and I'm sure some of those guys are feeling the effects. It affects small town communities when stuff like that happens. So But at the end of the day, this whistle's going to blow, and it's going to be time to play football. And I'm sure Randy and Danny will tell you the same thing. You know, hey, whistle blows, you boys go get it. Let's go get this done and do it for T. So,
Yeah, I was talking to Randy before the game and down on the field and giving him a hug, and I was asking him, you know, how's Brody, and you know, how are y'all holding up? And he said, you know, honestly, being around his teammates,
Yeah.
is really helping Brody, you know, a lot. And them, Dana and Randy also, being around those boys,
Yeah.
you know, they really are family, and it's just good to see. It's a tragic event, but you see what living in the smallest community like Lindsay, Oklahoma,
for sure. And
means to be here.
you hate for something like that to happen and bring the community together. But like you said, small town community, that's what it's all about. I mean, everybody knows Dana and Randy, everybody knew Tristan, you know, and that's one of them things, you know, you know, those two people, those two parents, they got this whole community surrounding them. You know, they're going to be with them through this whole thing. So it's just something that we're all going to have to get through, especially them two. And, you know, we'll help them the best they can. And it starts here tonight. Hopefully these guys can come out, play some inspired football and go notch a big victory for T. So here we go. Start of the first quarter. Ty Ferguson on to kick it away. High end over end kick. Going to be fielded at about the 26-yard line up to the 30. And finally brought down right about the 36-yard line. Looked like Price Stubblefield making the tackle. So that'll set up the Warriors offense here. 1st and 10. As Major Cantrell and the Warrior offense will trot out. Jake Rutledge alongside Eric Dotson. And here we go, partner. It's go time. Cantrell will be out of the gun. Two receivers split to his right, one to his left. Fake handoff underneath. Pass underneath to number 1. It's going to be caught. Makes a couple of guys miss. That's Singletary out across midfield. Going to be brought down just shy of the 45-yard line. So nothing too fancy there from the Warriors offensively. Just a little 5-yard stop. Able to make a couple of guys miss. Move the chains here for the Warriors.
Leopards starting out in a 4-3 defense here.
Cantrell out of the gun. 3 receivers to his left. Back to pass. Going to be hit. And that ball will flutter out of bounds. Initial pressure there by number 34. That's Priest Williams.
Good pressure from the edge on both sides that time, and Priest was able to get there.
Yeah. Cantrell out of the gun again. 2 receivers left, 1 to his right. Cantrell fake handoff underneath and overshoots his man. Might have had a step there on register, but unable to complete that pass. So here we go, 3rd and 10. You got them a little bit off schedule here, partner. Let's see if the defense can pin their ears back and come up with a stop.
Watch the middle, you know, little crossing route over the middle behind the backers here.
Cantrell out of the gun, sends a man in motion. It'll be a fake toss. He's going to step up inside the pocket, and he's going to be down just shy of the 45-yard line. Might have got back to the line. Well, it's actually giving him a gain of 1 on that one. If like Owen Simon then able to stick his nose in there and make a play. And that should usher out the punt team here for the Warriors. So there you go. You give up the one first down there on the first play of the game, but other than that, Leopards defensively did a good job there.
Muted, by the way, so can you zoom in just a little bit more? Our field camera is not good right now. Right there.
Punt's on the way, end over end.
Camera.
Like somewhat of a Leopard bounce there. So 10:45 to play in the first. Leopards will take over 1st and 10 at the, we'll call it 10-yard line. Here comes Brody Ramming in the Leopard offense. Ramming will start out of the gun. Jake Vaughn in the backfield alongside.
Going to get a shift, have to get set for a full second here.
Be a toss underneath to Jake Vaughn around the left edge. Good hard run there. Gain of about 5 on the play from Jake Vaughn.
Good hard run there. They lined up in a double tight end formation and then shifted and went 2 to the right. It's just a simple pitch to the left to Vaughn. Gain of 5.
Ball at a gain of 4. They'll call this 2nd 6 here. Ball at the 14-yard line. Ramming will be out of the gun. Jake Vaughn split backfield alongside. Again, handoff underneath of Vaughn. Makes one guy miss at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, might have got a couple there. We'll bring up a 3rd and 4, we'll call it. Ramming getting the play calls here. Barking out orders. Ramming will start out of the gun. 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Jake Vaughn split to his right in the backfield alongside. Snap back. Swing pass over to the right side, intended for Seth Padilla, just out of the reach of Padilla. So that'll bring up 4th and 4, 9:27 to play here in the first. Ramming will be on to punt this away. Return man standing just across midfield for the Warriors. Snap back, punts on the way, high end over end kick. And takes a Warriors bounce, then a Leopard bounce. Actually going to field that and be brought down right at the top of the double L there, right at midfield. So that'll set up 1st and 10 for the Warriors. 9:16 to play in the first quarter. Still no score. Again, Stubblefield hustling downfield on special teams. He had the opening kickoff tackle. Turns right around there and makes the punt.
That kid just has a nose for the football.
Yep.
He's always going to be where the ball is, making something happen.
So Cantrell and the Warrior offense will trot out. Bunch set to Cantrell's right, 1 receiver to his right, backfield in the backfield with him. Snap back, handoff underneath. It's out around the edge, out to the 45, down to the 40, and finally going to be tripped up by Seth Padilla. Be good enough for a first down. Cantrell out of the gun, 2 receivers left, 2 to the right, and Owen Symington got a little antsy there. It's going to be encroachment. There'll be a 5-yard penalty. Bring up 1st and 5. Here we go. We'll reset. 1st and 5. Cantrell barking out orders. 2 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. Backfield in the back with him. Ball's on the ground. Cantrell able to pick it up, but it's going to be cornered there by number 34. That's Priest Williams. Good pursuit there.
Good heads up play again by Priest Williams. He continues to get pressure on the edge.
A loss of about 6 on the play there. Call it 2nd and 11 now. 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Cantrell, 3-step drop. Looking, steps up inside the pocket. Still on his feet and lets it fly, and that one's going to fall incomplete. Good hard hit down there by Andon Register. So we'll bring up 3rd and long here. 3rd and 11, we'll call it.
You know, the quarterback got hit. Cantrell got hit again as he was throwing the ball. That's the 2nd time that's happened. And the receiver, Andon Register, as soon as that ball touched his hands, Andon Register was putting the smack down on him. Caused him not to catch the ball.
Looks like the Warriors got the offense out here. They're going to go for this one. They're going to have pressure. He's going to escape the would-be tackle there. Ty Ferguson unable to bring him down, but finally going to be brought down by a host of Leopards as that 4th down try is that was 3rd down. I apologize. I was a step ahead there.
4th and 10.
So here we go. And now we got 4th and a mile here. Let's see if the Warriors punt it away on the actual 4th down. My apologies, everybody. So here we go. Washington's going to elect to punt this one away. Just going to play some field position here as they're across midfield into Leopard territory. Try to pin the Leopards back deep here. And in register will be back deep to receive here. Snap back. Kick on the way. High spiral kick. It's going to take a bounce for the Warriors and come to rest just shy of the 5. Call it the 6-yard line. So here we go. Chess match, as you called a couple of weeks ago, Lindsay and Purcell. Got the same thing on tap right here. Both teams just kind of filling one another out. And right now, if anybody's winning anything, it's just Washington winning the field position battle.
Yeah, I'd like to see Lindsay try to get the ball down the field, at least get 2 or 3 first downs and try to shift this field position a little bit.
Well, and two, I mean, we mentioned Andon Register, who's done nothing but fill in and do a great job. I shouldn't say fill in. He starts when Kessler's available, but he's kind of become that next weapon for the Leopards since Kessler's been out with that bad ankle. So ramming out of the gun, rolling to his left, looking, has a man. That's going to be caught. That is Seth Padilla. Basically just a 10-yard out route right there, partner. Nothing too fancy.
No, it's a safe play. It's out route, and the cornerback was protecting deep, and when he turned, and he was wide open, and that's past the catch right there and moved the chains.
So 7:38 to play here in the first. First down, Lindsay. 1st and 10. Still no score if you're just jumping on with us. Ramming out of the gun. 2 receivers to his right. That's handoff underneath. That's Ty Ferguson. Not much doing there for Ty. Maybe a yard on the play.
His defensive front is probably the most talented part of their team.
Yeah, there's a couple of big kids down there. Big 74. Look at he's a big boy.
They play on the offensive line also. Their defense and offensive front they're
interchangeable.
Yeah, they're pretty special.
So Ramming will be out of the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Ty Ferguson in the backfield alongside. Ramming takes the snap, rolls to his right. Got to step up. Got to make a play. Ball's on the ground. Looks like Ramming jumped on it there. Good heads-up play. That's going to be a big loss, though. Brings up 3rd and long. 6:45 to play here in the first. And that's just Brody just trying to make a play there, trying to step up inside that pocket, Eric, and that's a good pursuit there defensively, though. You see the quarterback kind of running around with the ball like a loaf of bread. Slap at that thing, see if you can force a turnover. Yep. Washington nearly does it, but Ramming able to fall on it. However, it is 3rd and a mile now.
And there was good coverage on the receivers. There wasn't really much he could do with the ball.
Ramming out of the gun. He's going to roll to his right again.
Zoom in just a tad, please.
And is that a live ball? I'm actually going to call that
an incomplete
pass. Ooh, well, that was close.
He was thinking about it.
Yeah. So 6:14 to play. That'll bring up 4th and 15. Leopard's going to have to boot this one away. This was where Ramming really needs to lay into one. Nice high spiral. Let that thing take hopefully a Leopard bounce. Try to flip some of this field position here. Snaps back, kick on the way, end over end kick. Hits right at the 50 and comes to rest. Almost the same exact spot.
It is the exact same yardage, 49-yard line.
So Washington will take over with 6:04 to play in the first. 1st and 10. Here comes Cantrell and the Warrior offense. Ball just across midfield, 1st and 10, Warriors. Cantrell, snap back, handoff underneath. Gain of about 4 on the play.
Looks like about 4. Defensive line for the Leopards, number 79, Levi Smith.
It's also something to mention tonight. Levi Smith is going to have the honor of wearing number 79. That was Tristan Manning's number. He's in the ball game down there on that defensive line. Handoff around the left edge and finally pushed out of bounds That's Cole Scott right around the first down marker. Leopards showed blitz right there. I thought Jake Vaughn was going to get home, but
They got it to the outside and was able to get to the edge.
yep. Yeah, that's one of them. If they would have been coming this direction, Vaughn might have blown that play up there in the backfield. But sometimes you get caught, they're going away from you. So I'll bring up 3rd and 1 here. 5:24 to play in the first. Still no score. Leopards need to pin their ears back here, force a negative play. Cantrell handoff underneath, and going to be. There's that play we're talking about. Handed register. Able to come up and make a tackle.
Just enough for a first down.
Barely got that first down.
We did pick up the first down.
Still a good defensive play.
Sitting on about the 39-yard line.
Cantrell again out of the gun. And they're here's that 1st and 5. 5:03 to play in the first. Cantrell out of the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Snap back. Pass over to the far side there as Jack Dodd finally wrestles him down. Just a 5-yard stop route. That's all that was. And
Yeah, Dodd saw the ball coming. You got to close in a little bit closer, trying to beat the ball. Put a hit on when that ball gets there.
yeah, get there when the ball does. Blow that thing apart.
Good tackle. Make sure he didn't score on us.
Here we go, 1st and 10. Warriors on the move inside the Leopard territory down to about the 16-yard line. Cantrell snaps back, and that is Cole Scott out on the edge. He's got a ton of speed. Finally going to be brought down by end and register. Might have should have been stopped in the backfield there for a loss, but yeah, Cole Scott, that number 7, the running back. Once he hits that edge, he's tough to bring down.
Yes, he is. He's fast and powerful.
Cottrell out of the gun. Handoff again. That's Cole Scott around the right edge, and he will walk into the end zone. Touchdown Warriors. 3:58 to play in the first quarter. Snap back, hold down, kick on the way, and it's good. So 3:58 to play in the first quarter. Warriors able to strike first, take a 7-0 lead here. We'll take a Hughes Heat and Air timeout. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Leopard football live on the Leopard Sports Network. Welcome back, everybody. Burford Field as the Washington Warriors able to strike first here on a 14-yard scamper by Cole Scott, the big running back for the Warriors. Take a 7-0 lead with 3:58 to play in the first. Kick is away. End over end kick. Going to be fielded at about the 15. That's Stubblefield. He's dangerous. Makes a guy miss. Makes another man miss. Here he goes down the near sidelines. And going to be kicked out of bounds. Call it the 39 or so. So a nice little return there by Stubblefield. Like to see him involved in the offensive game plan as well.
Yes, sir. He runs with a purpose.
Absolutely. 3:49 to play in the first. Leopards trail 7-0 as Raming and the offense start out here 39-yard line. Snap back. That's a toss over to Jake Vaughn. Vaughn's got the left edge there down the near sideline, still on his feet, punishing a would-be tackler. Good hard run there by Jake.
I love that jumbo set on the left side. They had basically a tight end and two receivers there lead blocking for Jake Vaughn on this quick pitch.
Well, and that's something I don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if we've seen that this year. We've seen the jumbo set to either side, but running that toss out of that.
We've seen it one time against Purcell.
Okay.
And I was hoping they'd go back to it, but they just ran it the one time.
Ramming out of the gun. There's a toss, and that is blown up in the backfield. Not going to get away with it back-to-back against this Warrior defense.
No, they sniffed that out before it was going. The outside backers there just about the time Jacob Long got the ball.
Yeah. Talk about meeting them when the ball gets there. That's a big loss on the play. Call it a loss of 6. Brings up 2nd and 16. 3:01 to play here in the first quarter. Ramming will be out of the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 to his left. Ramming rolling to his right. Needs to get rid of it. As number 28, that is Shane Jones coming out of the backfield. Able to hold that one in for a nice chunk. Just going to bring up a 3rd and manageable here.
Like a big chunk of that yardage. Taking inside the 40 to the 38. So the 3rd down and a long 4.
Here we go. We'll call it 3rd and 4. 2:10 to play in the first. Leopards trail 7-0, but they're on the move after the nice pitch and catch from Ramming to Shane Jones. Shane Jones flashing some hands there. Something we hadn't seen yet this year, huh?
Yep. He's a baller.
So Ramming will be out of the gun. 3 receivers to his right. Looking. Throws it underneath Shane Jones yet again. Got to have to put his head down. And going to come up just short. We'll call it about 3 yards short, maybe. And what do you do if you're Hembry here? You don't have a field goal kicker. You don't necessarily punt. Is this 4-down territory?
I'm going for it.
I think that is going to be the call. I believe Ty Ferguson checked into the ball game there. Shane Jones remains in, as does Stubblefield, Register, and Padilla. Here we go. Coach Hembry, he's going to roll the dice. 1:08 to play. And actually, they're going to call a timeout. They want to talk about it, make sure everybody's on the same page. I'd have just wanted to line up, see what the defense was going to present for you there. So we'll take a quick Hughes Heat and Air timeout with them. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Leopard Football live on the Leopard Sports Network. Well, welcome back, everybody. Burford Field, 1:07 to play here in the first quarter as the Leopards are faced with a 4th and we'll call it 3 here. Ramming will be out of the gun. 2 receivers left, 1 to his right. Swing pass over to the edge and overshoots Padilla. And the Leopards are going to be turned away on 4th down.
Threw the ball over and down. So Washington will take over with 104 again.
Now, seeing what like what they were trying to do there, basically setting up a little bubble screen there. But even if Padilla is able to pull that thing in, Washington had that thing snuffed out and blown up. I don't think Padilla was going to go much of anywhere there. So just got to tip your cap to the defense. And
They were ready for the out pass.
yeah, they play another down there. So here we go. Cantrell and the Warrior offense takes over, 36-yard line. Cantrell will be out of the gun. 2 receivers. 1 left, 1 right. That's handoff. Cole Scott around the left edge and trucks over a tackler. Lindsey's going to have to come up with a solution of Cole Scott, or he's just going to keep running and getting to them edges. You're getting 6, 7, 8 yards a pop on first down. It makes second down a heck of a lot easier.
Yeah, the first thing you need to do is stop the run. Make that quarterback beat you throwing the ball.
Cantrell out of the gun again. Snap back. And yet again, a handoff to Scott. As he's forced out of bounds there by, looks like Stubblefield. Might have got a yard, so we'll call it 3rd and
Log 1.
long line. Let's call it 3rd and 2. They are showing 3rd and 1 on the board. Cantrell out of the gun, snap back, handoff yet again, and going to be enough for a first down. Maybe. Actually, they're going to call for a measure. Maybe.
I'm going to bring chains out on this
So
one.
they are going to measure after all the refs get together and talk about it. Yeah, partner, it is darn close. I know that. Probably going to be 4 down territory for Washington if they are short here. And that is going to be enough for a Warrior first down by about a half a football. So set up 1st and 10 Warriors. 41 seconds to play here in the first.
No harm, no foul. Let's get a stop here.
Yeah. And like I said, even if they were short, I really feel like Beller in the offense, I think they would have lined up and went for that one right there, being as short as it was. So.
Yeah.
But however, it is a first down, so Cantrell will be out of the gun. Snap back, rolling to his right, looking deep shot, and going to overshoot his man there. Maybe a little miscommunication right there. It looked like the receiver was running underneath in a deep post, and maybe Cantrell was thinking a fade route or something, so falls incomplete. Down to 28 seconds to play here. Still first quarter. Leopards trail 7-0. Cantrell out of the gun. 2 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. Cole Scott splitting the backfield alongside. Excuse me, that's not Scott, but it is a handoff underneath. And gain of about 12. Right up the gut.
You got to do something about stopping that run, Jake.
Yeah, Leopards are having some issues getting the run shut down here in the early going.
You're going to let the quarter run out.
So at the end of the first quarter, not a lot of action. We just had Warriors had the good field position there, able to convert there and get it in from about 14 yards out. But
Jake, just to put a little bit of perspective on tonight's game versus last year we played Washington here. At the end of the first quarter, I believe it was 35 or 42-0 Washington.
it was something big. I tried to forget about that, but bringing up bad memories there, partner. So no, we'll take a quick break. Q's heating air timeout. Get ready for the second quarter. Actually, I tell you what, we're just gonna keep it here because they're already breaking the huddles. So these refs are. I like the way they're thinking. Let's go. Ain't no sense in taking forever.
That's right.
Get them watered, get them out. Let's start this second quarter. And yeah, I mean nothing really too concerning there if you're a Leopard fan in that first quarter. Aside from the running game, Washington able to get the running game going. And like I said, if you're getting 6, 7, 8 yards a pop on first down, what's that do for your offense on second and short? It makes it so much easier. Your playbook is wide open on second and short situations. So you got to win those first downs, and hopefully Leopards can make some adjustments here on the fly and able to get that done. Be able to get that done, excuse me. So we'll just flip the field here. About a, 15-yard difference maybe?
Yeah.
As Cantrell will come out, 4 receivers, 2 to each side. First and 10 here, ball to 34. Check that. Cantrell out of the gun. 3-step drop, looking to his right, throws and overshoots his man. Good pressure there by number 3, White April. Able to get into Cantrell's face.
You know, quarterback's a little bit off. That's why I like our chances. If we can get that run shut down just a little bit,
Yeah.
Leopards will have a defensive chance here to get out of there.
Cantrell will have 4 receivers yet again, 2 to each side. Snap back, quick pass over to the right side, and misses yet again. Threw that pass to the inside, might need to lead him to the outside there where he can turn, get down his far sidelines, but not the case. Brings up 3rd and long here.
Playing on the Leopard side of the field, they can run it right up the middle and probably go for it if they wanted to.
Cantrell out of the gun again. 3-step drop. Dangerous pass there. And if Seth Padilla might have got his head around just a little bit quicker and spotted that ball, he might have been able to pull that in for a pick. But is what it is. Falls incomplete. And yet again, the Warriors are going to punt this one away. And more than likely, unless this thing is a touchback, they're going to pin the Leopards deep. Snaps back. Punts on the way. Off the side of his foot. And that's going to come to rest out of bounds at about the 14 or so. So not as deep as it could have been there, partner. Could have been a heck of a lot worse. You'll take it. Sure beats better. It's better than starting at your own 5.
Yeah. The thing about it, the Leopards have kind of started deep in their own territory every possession.
Yeah.
Washington's done a great job of field position.
Well, that's kind of a stat that's not really ever talked about. You always talk about obviously your points, your turnovers, your time of possession, but field position battles, man. If you're playing on a long field, if you're playing, 75, 80-yard fields, every offensive snap, ramming on the keeper around the left edge, nothing much doing there, a gain of maybe 1. But back to what I was saying, if you're a long field every offensive time you have, every time you have the ball offensively, boy, it bogs down your offense. I mean, it's tough on you.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have a short field, you feel like you got a little more explosiveness, open your playbook up a little bit. Because in this situation, you darn sure don't want to turn it over deep in your own territory doing something, trying to be too cute. I'll bring up second and actually we'll call it 2nd and 8. Ramming will be out of the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Snap back. Pump fake. Has a man, undershoots him. My hand and register has to come back to the underthrow. And we got a flag on the field.
Mental mistakes like that we can't have happen if you're going to beat a good team like Washington.
Yeah. That, again, pass was just underthrown slightly and tipped the cap to register, who came back and high pointed that thing, actually holds it in. gets a big gainer there, but all for naught there after the. Did they end up call it holding or an ineligible receiver? Because my question is, how do you get an eligible receiver downfield when you're pass blocking the whole way? It's not like you're setting up a screen or something.
I'm not sure.
So here it is, second and long, ramming out of the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Again, little swing pass. That's dangerous. Pick 6, touchdown Warriors.
Number 4, Cole Ballard.
Ball deflected right there at the line of scrimmage, it looked like. And Cole Beller able to haul that in there for the pick 6. Warriors take a 13-0 lead here with 10:48 to play. Thomas on the kick. Snap back. Hold down. Kick on the way. And looks good. And it is good. So with 10:48 to play in the first half, Leopards trail 14-0. We'll take a quick Hughes Heat and Air timeout. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Leopard Football live on the Leopard Sports Network. Welcome back, everybody, here. Burford Field, 10:48 to play here in the first half. Leopards trail 14-0 after the Warrior pick 6. Thomas on to kick it away. High end over end kick right down the middle of the field. That's going to be fielded by, looks like Stubblefield. He's up to the 20, 25. And going to be tripped up about the 27 or so. Leopards will take over. 1st and 10. Got to respond right here, partner. Got to go get some points.
Yeah, I think we need to get going here. Been kind of sputtering on offense. Had one good play and he got called back on a penalty.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's been short going.
So Ramey in the offense will start out. 1st and 10. 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Jake Vaughn in his left pocket. Snap back. That's handoff to Jake. Around the left edge. Makes a couple of guys miss. Still on his feet. Gain of about 5 on the play. Well, there you go. That's what you like to see. Yep. 5-6 yards a pop on 1st down. Ramey will have 3 to his left. Ramey's going to keep it.
28.
Loss of a couple there. Going to bring up 3rd. We'll call it 8. Ramey will have 2 receivers left, 1 receiver right. Play clock down to 10. We still don't have a play. A little confusion out there. Down to 5. Ramey's going to have to go quick. Gets it off. 3-step drop. Looking across the middle. Pass intended for number 28, Shane Jones. And Shane Jones is going to pull that one back in. So 3 receptions on the night so far for Shane Jones, who looks to have some pretty good hands. So 1st and 10 Leopards. Ball just across the 40, call it the 41-yard line. 9:08 to play here in the first half. Again, Leopards they're going to have to respond here. They need to go get some points. Ramming out of the gun, 2 receivers right, 1 left. Snap back, handoff underneath to Jake Vaughn, who is going to be tripped up in the backfield. Takes a pretty good shot. Vaughn gets back to his feet.
It took a helmet to the ribs there.
Ty Ferguson will check in. Loss of 2 on the play there. Oh, 2nd and 12. Snapback, ramming, rolling to his left. Throw across his body, takes a deep shot at second. Still on his feet, Nuggets. It's probably going to be brought down to about the 11-yard line. Seth Padilla, who snuck in behind the defense there, the secondary, able to come up with the catch.
Yeah, Seth Padilla basically baited the defenders. He slowed down, and they slowed down. Then he took off.
Yeah.
Once he saw the ball was in the air, and it gave just enough distance between him and the defenders to catch the ball. Then a great run after the catch.
Yeah, good hard run after the catch, but also the throw. That's something you see Brody do a lot. Rolling to his left and having to throw. You got to completely open your shoulders up to get that ball off and put it on the money like he did right there. So tip your cap to Brody Ramming. Nice toss there, young man.
That's a hard throw. Run to your left. Be right-handed.
Toss in the backfield to Ferguson, who's going to lose about 4.
He put that play back on the shelf.
Yeah, that one was snuffed out by that Warrior defense in a hurry. Yeah, nothing Ty could do there. Once he had the ball, he was surrounded by Warriors. Just had to protect the ball there. Live to play another down.
They'll keep doing that, Jake, though, but here in a little bit, they're going to fake that toss.
Yep.
Have something open to the left.
Ramming will be out of the gun. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Ty Ferguson split in the backfield alongside to his left. Ferguson moves directly behind. No, check that. Him and Brody, they're talking about it. Ferguson will stay there. Fake handoff. Ball's on the ground. Loss of about 5 on the play.
Right when things get going your way,
Well, you had it 1st and goal at the 11. And now it is going to be 3rd and goal from the 19. I might just take a shot right here. Try to peel the top off of it.
throw one up, let Andon Register go get it.
Yeah. So Padilla will be split left, Register split right. Shane Jones at the tight end position. Reese Williams over at the other. Snap back, 3-step drop. There's that deep shot. And Andon Register standing at about the 11 wide open. That pass was intended for, I believe that was Shane Jones coming out of his tight end spot there. A little bit of bumping, pushing and shoving there, but no flag.
Letting them play a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I'll bring up 4th and long. Leopards elect to go here.
Jumbo set to the right.
Ramming rolling to his right. Looking. Pass across the middle, out of the back of the end zone, incomplete. Again, Leopards turned away on 4th down. As the Warriors will take over offensively. 5:53 to play here. Cantrell on the offense trots back out. Cantrell will have 1 receiver right, 1 receiver left. Jumbo set to his right as well. Snap back. That's a handoff to Scott around the right edge, still on his feet. And finally forced out of bounds at about the 1st down marker.
Another good hard run there.
Cantrell out of the gun. 2 receivers right. 1 left. Snap. Handoff underneath. Good pursuit there. Looked like Wyatt April and Shane Jones able to blow it up there in the backfield.
Late flag just got thrown.
I don't wonder what that's about.
Usually it doesn't sportsmanlike.
Or, well, yeah. Who it may be on is what I meant. Personal foul against the Leopards. After the play. That's 15-yard variety, so refs will walk it off here.
Don't call a personal foul on the Leopards.
Cantrell.
42.
He'll be out of the gun. 1 receiver right, 1 receiver left. Big tight end to either side as well. Cole Scott in the backfield. Cantrell's looking over. Looks like Beller in the offense, or excuse me, Quest Sinatra in the offense. Want to change plays here. Pass over to the near side. Going to be complete. Brought down by Jack Dodd. Gain of about 7. Yeah, call it 6. No, we'll call it 7. 2nd and 3. Four receiver set, 2 to each side. Cantrell out of the gun. Snap back. Fake handoff underneath. It's going to be a toss out to the right. Jake Vaughn trips him up. Good job there. 1-on-1 tackle. If Vaughn don't stick his nose in there, partner, he might. He ends up in a 1-on-1 situation with Seth Padilla out on the edge. And
Makes him miss and he's gone.
yeah. I'm not saying Padilla couldn't make the tackle, but you like your chances as a running back going up against a corner trying to who's going to win that matchup.
It was good heads up play on the defense, too. All right. You know, they were showing maybe run left where they had the formation set up. And they had Ferguson blitzing all the way on the left side.
On 3rd down, Warriors elect to run it. Missed tackle. Cole Scott's going to switch field or direction down the sideline, still on his feet.
All the way to inside the player.
And what should have been maybe a no-gainer turns into a huge chunk play.
Just more missed tackles.
Gain of about 30, we'll call it 31 on the play.
Defenders got to do a better job of breaking down and hitting them heads up.
So 1st and 10, ball to 19. Washington wanting to go hurry up here. Cantrell snap back, handoff around the right side. That's number 24. He's still on his feet, and he'll walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Warriors. .344 to play in the first half. Warriors on the board again. Lead 20-0 here. Thomas will come in to kick the extra point try here. And got a penalty flag on the play as the Warriors were getting set up. They're going to mark it off against Washington. It's going to make this extra point try a little bit tougher on Thomas. Be a 25-yard extra point try. Snaps a little bit high, holds down. Thomas still gets the kick away, and it's still good. So with 3:44 to play in the first half, Warriors lead 21-0. We'll take a Hughes Heat and Air timeout. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Leopard Football live on the Leopard Sports Network. Welcome back, everybody. Burford Field, 3:44 to play here in the first half. Leopards trail 21-0. As the Warriors able to punch it in on a little counter play, 19 yards out. Thomas on to kick it away here, end over end, and that is going to settle into the end zone. Ty Ferguson just elects to let that one go. The Leopards will take over 1st and 10 from the 20.
3:44 remaining.
Be 1st and 10. Leopards still have all 3 timeouts. And if they can get something cooking here offensively, maybe make it a 21-7 ball game at the half, you feel a little bit better about it going into the halftime locker room.
Yeah, take a little bit of momentum into halftime, and you get the ball coming out in the second half and try to make something happen with the ball then. Just take care of the ball, no turnovers here, and try to move the chains.
So Ramming in the offense trots out. Ramming will be out of the gun. Snap back. Fake handoff. Going to roll to his right. Looking. Has Register, who broke free, but
Play took too long to develop.
Yep.
In the backfield.
And even if Ramming would have seen him, I don't think Ramming's got the arm there. He would have let that thing fly from about his 8, and he would have needed to get it out to about the 40. That'd have been a pretty good shot rolling to his right. So
Yeah.
been a tough pass. Does the right thing, just throws it out of bounds, live to play another down. Brings up 2nd and 10. Ramming. Handoff underneath there. That's Ty Ferguson. Yes, Ferguson able to get about, call it 4. Brings up 3rd and 6.
Beautiful night. Finally getting football weather here.
It is, I guarantee you. Ramming out of the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Snap back. Ramming rolling to his right. Looking for Register. Lets it fly. And Register basically had to go up, try to play defense there. Falls incomplete. Brings up 4th down. Leopards will punt this one away. Ramming will be the punter here. As Washington doesn't have anybody back, makes you wonder if they're going to bring some sort of pressure. Snaps back. Kick on the way. End over end kick. Takes a Leopard bounce.
Don't touch it. Just let time expire.
Jack Doddle down it. So with 2:38 to play, Washington will take over 1st and 10, leading 21-0. Here's where it gets tricky, partner.
You don't want to go in the halftime down 28 to nothing.
That's what I was fixing to say. You're already in a 21-0 hole here. You got to play defense, try to get the ball back, or just force this clock to expire here. Go into the locker room, down 3 touchdowns. Still, you're in a hole, but you end up here down 4 touchdowns, and it can be a pretty long walk over to that locker room.
Yeah.
So Cantrell on the offense trots out. Cole Scott will be in the backfield. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Snap back. Fake handoff, and Stubblefield's going to be called for a face mask. This is going to be a free play. Man running wide open. Touchdown, Warriors.
Not sure where the safety was on that.
Well, nobody was home as the big tight end that we talked about. Hard to miss all 6'4" of him that time.
Yeah.
So Thomas will come on to kick this extra point. 2:24 to play. First half. Personal foul face mask. Stubblefield was trying to make a sack in the backfield. So here's Thomas for the extra point. Snap back, hold down, kick on the way, and it's good. So with 2:24 to play in the first half, Warriors lead 28-0. We'll take a Hughes Heat and Air timeout. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Leopards.
Hi, I'm Ben Long, an agent with Oklahoma Healthcare Exchange. During this year's annual enrollment, we wanted you to know that you have a local solution for all your Medicare and health insurance needs. Our agents live and work throughout the entire great state of Oklahoma. Whether you're in Lindsay, Ardmore, Lawton, McAllister, or any of the major metropolitan areas. Give us a call to learn more at 855-786-8343. Again, that phone number is 855-786-8343. And we look forward to hearing from you.
We are back here, Burford Field, 2:24 to play in the first half. Leopards trail big here, 28-0. As Thomas and the Warriors going to kick this one away from across midfield, as the face mask penalty is going to be marked off here for the kickoff. So with the leg that Thomas has, I expect this one to probably go through the back of the end zone unless he elects to pooch. End over end kick and out of the back of the end zone. So Leopards will take over 1st and 10, 2:24 to play at the 20. Got to get something working in your favor here. Got to have something going into the locker room that you can build off of.
Yeah, even down 28, if you somehow manage a score here, come back out halftime with the ball and do something with the ball. You know, you feel like you got a chance. Hang with them anyway.
Ramming will be out of the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Snap back, handoff underneath. That looks like Jake Vaughn, who's going to get out. Gain of maybe 3 on the play. Clock continues to run. This might be a situation here where Hembry's just saying, okay, guys, protect the ball. Let's get into the halftime locker room. Let's go regroup here. Out in the second half, a little bit different game plan. Ramming out of the gun. Snap back, handoff up the middle again. That's Jake Vaughn, dragging a couple of tacklers. Gain of maybe, we'll call it 3. So we'll call it 3rd and 3 here. Down to 1:30 to play. Leopards can actually snap this right around the 1-minute mark if they elect to. Play clock and game clocker.
Jake, this is just me. I'm the gambling type, but I'm faking it up the middle and I'm throwing it.
Letting it ride, huh?
Yep.
Let's see. Ramming. Snap back. Ramming's going to keep it around the right side. Makes one guy miss. Out to the 30. Stop the clock with 1 minute. Ramming able to get the first down. Comes out of his shoe there. As Austin Hines will check in long enough for Ramming to get his shoe on. Which Ramming might not see another offensive snap here. He's having issues getting that shoe foot put back on. That'll be Hines keeping it around the left edge. And going to be brought down. Gain of maybe 2 on the play. Down to 45 seconds to play here in the first half.
Almost in midfield, you got to be a little aggressive, I would think.
Well, too, Hembry, I mean, you got 2 timeouts in your back pocket, but you don't want to mess around and leave too much time for Washington either. So handoff up the middle. That's Jake Vaughn. It'll be good enough for a first down. And you see if Emory calls timeout here. Looks like Vaughn's going to be a little bit shaken up there. Gets to his feet. Took a pretty good shot on that play. So he'll come off under his own power. 23 seconds. Brody Ramming checks back into the ball game. Austin Hines is still out there. I wonder what we're going to do here. And more than likely, let this game clock expire, and we'll take it to the halftime locker room down 28-0. So Leopard's going to have to do some regrouping in the locker room. They're going to have to figure out, one, they're going to have to, no more turnovers. You can't allow that. You just had the one, but it did result in a pick six for the score. Then offensively, you're just going to have to come out and try to get your wheels going. I mean, it's almost like they're just kind of spinning their wheels, unable to get a lot, anything really going there in that first half. And defensively, pin your ears back. You're going to have to make it tougher on Washington.
Yeah, defensively, we're going to have to figure out how to stop the run, Jake.
Yep.
And, offensively, we got to the red zone twice and went backwards.
Yeah.
We had a big play on a pass play. He got out to the 50-yard line, and it got called back on a penalty. So there's just a few little things there if we can kind of figure out, and it could be a different ball game, but Washington's playing good. They got a good game plan. They've stuck to it, and they're up 28-0.
Yep. So with all that, we'll take a break during this halftime show. We'll be back here 20 minutes or so. Talk a little bit of keys to the second half, and we'll be back after this huge heat and air break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Leopard Football live on the Leopard Sports Network. getting ready to start this third quarter of play as your Lindsay Leopards trail 28-0 here. Really, and it started off with field position partner, and Lindsay wasn't ever really able to flip the field and unable to get anything moving there offensively. And something I want to talk about, and I actually spoke with Dolger Edelman about it down there at halftime in the press box. The no flag over here for the PI. That kind of, if you want to get nitpicky here, that kind of tilted the ball game in Washington's favor. And I'm not going to say it's all because of that. Obviously it's not. You got the pick six, and then they haven't been able to, defensively hadn't been able to shut down the running game of the Warriors. But if that PI call, is made down there in that corner of the end zone, it's essentially a 14-7 ball game. And who knows, but you can't dwell on that is what I'm getting at. I mean, obviously you would have liked to have that call there and set you up, first and goal from about the 5 or whatever it would have been, but not the case. You're in a 28-0 hole here starting this third quarter. Hopefully Leopards go in, regroup there at halftime, and they got a game plan moving forward.
Yeah, Jake, they just need to come out and get things firing on offense and get that run shut down of Washington. They've pretty much ran the ball,
At will.
And
yeah. So Thomas on to kick it away here. High end over end kick. That's going to be fielded by, looks like Register. Register going to be brought down about the 26 or so. So Leopards will take over 1st and 10, just underway here in the third quarter. 11:54 to play. Did you happen to check any college scores during the half? West Virginia Baylor by chance?
No, I thought you were going to tell me Texas scored on OU again.
No, they have finally stopped scoring, but no, that West Virginia Baylor game, that's 24-24 midway through the third quarter just a little bit ago. So might have a pretty good ball game on tap there. That's one. If West Virginia messes around and wins that, then you're thinking, okay, what Baylor, just a few weeks ago they were being talked about as the cream of the crop in the Big 12. Of course, obviously OSU goes down there, knocks them off, and they've kind of, if they lose here tonight against West Virginia, they've kind of spiraled out of control. So try to keep tabs on that one. But
Hey, SOU fans are enjoying it right now.
It doesn't matter.
One game at a time, Tandra. One game at a time. 5-0.
Hey, it doesn't matter. We've got a better record right now.
Doesn't
That's
matter.
all that's important.
So ramming out of the gun, he's going to keep it right up the gut and going to be corralled there by a host of Warriors. It's going to bring up 3rd and long.
Baylor's up 31-24 with 5:21 left in the third.
Okay. So they've scored since I was downstairs. So. Thought we might be talking some Yankees baseball this evening, but that one was rained out, postponed till tomorrow at 12 o'clock, I believe, is when they're going to play that game 2 of that ALDS. Pass intended for Register. It's going to one hop as Register slides down trying to make a catch, brings up 4th and call it 11. Ramming in the Leopards will have to punt this one away.
He was open. The ball just didn't get there.
Yep. Snapback. Punt on the way. Low spiral. Going to be fielded by number 12. Makes one guy miss. Out across midfield. So the Warriors will take over with 10:21 to play, leading 28-0 here. See if the defense come up with any keys to shutting down this Warrior offense. Offensively, they've only scored the 21, with the pick 6, but we've talked about it at nausea. The running game has what's been the killer because Cantrell, the quarterback, he hadn't been super accurate by any means. Cantrell out of the gun, snap back, across the middle or to the left side, and it falls incomplete. See?
Yeah, really, the only really accurate pass he threw was to his tight end. It was wide open.
Right.
On a busted play, but
Yeah, Tandra could have hit that guy blindfolded. So
Hey.
I got to give Tandra a hard time. She was on my case Friday night at Dibble. I still don't know what, but she just sitting over there laughing at me while I'm trying to do play-by-play and run the camera. And
To be honest, I was laughing at Connor being so blunt. He called it like he seen it.
Yeah, yeah, you're spot on there. There was a handful of times where, and you got to think about this too, Eric. He's a senior, so he knows every kid that was out there on the football field for Dibble that night, and he would just flat say, well, if so and so, he was a little bit overweight coming into the season, and just throwing it out there. I mean,
I'm glad I wasn't there.
He did good doing color, but yeah, he told it like it was. So
It was fun.
So Cantrell rolling to his right and had a man, but couldn't get it to him.
But the highlight of the night was the very end where Jake falls down the stairs.
The infamous fall.
Yeah. Trying my darndest to protect the big box that we have with the mixer on it and everything. And what's bad, when I came out of that press box,
You said it was slick.
I said it. I said, oh, these might be slick. And I take one step and start falling. So Thomas, high spiral punt, going to be fielded by Register, and going to bring it out across the 20.
Dangerous catch there to try to make something happen, but
Yeah, you like the risk though. Try to make something happen. Maybe make a guy miss there, and maybe you can spring that thing. But so I'll bring up 1st and 10. Leopards take over after forcing the punt. Yeah, my ankle and right elbow, they're still not right from that little trip. And what was bad about it, I mean, everybody, first of all, it seemed like it took forever to catch myself. But once I finally did and I stand back upright, and look around, everybody's looking at me with their mouths open like, what's going on here?
looks like Austin Hines is back there with Brody Ren.
Oh, yeah, that is Austin Hines checked in at running back. Actually give it to him there. Ty Ferguson going to trot in now. And I was going to say, Ty, he came in from the east end of the field there. He didn't come out of the locker room to the west end zone and warm up with the rest of the team. He actually come from the east end of the stadium down here. I don't know what that is, what that was about, but ramming out of the gun. Had to pump fake. Now he's rolling to his right, just looking, has to get rid of it. And good play there by number 8, able to bat that one away. Had to register underneath there. That'll bring it up 3rd and 9 here. 8:44 to play, third quarter. Ramming will be out of the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 to his left. Ty Ferguson in the backfield alongside. Snap back. Brody rolling to his right. Throws, and pass is going to be completed. That's Seth Padilla out around midfield. Nice pitch and catch there.
Ramming was under pressure again and was able to get the pass off.
Yeah, and put it nearly only where Padilla could get to it there, right on the sidelines, right on the money. Nice pitch and catch there. So move the chains. 1st and 10. Leopards got the ball right at midfield now.
Good positive offensive play.
Yeah. Ramming out of the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Ferguson in the backfield is alongside. It's going to be a handoff to Ferguson.
Little inside counter.
Yep. Washington had it snuffed out. Good pursuit there defensively. Like Priest Williams going to check into the ball game for Price Stubblefield.
Probably put him in a Mesa back or tight end formation there and give him another lead blocker. Priest has good hands too. He'd slip him out.
Well, that was something I meant to mention that in the during that first half. You've seen Shane Jones haul in a couple from the tight end position. And I was going to ask you about Priest and his hands. Ramming on the keeper. Might have got 3 on the play.
Another late flag. Flag was after the play.
Derek called it another late flag.
The flag on the field.
Let's see who it's going to be on.
Leopards are acting like it's on them.
Yeah, they are kind of trending backwards. Not Brody, though. He wants an explanation. Well, that would be the 15-yard variety. I'm assuming a personal foul or unsportsmanlike. Didn't catch the signal there from the white hat. But regardless, it is against the Leopards. Stubblefield will check back in as Priest trots off. We'll call it 3rd and 25. 7:44 to play here in the third quarter.
It's same thing over and over. We get a positive play and then we back up.
Yeah. Unnecessary too. I mean, no sense in getting the unsportsmanlike there.
That's a live ball.
Ball is still loose as number 2 is going to scoop and score. Initially, I thought they was going to call that an incomplete pass, but not the case. So 2 defensive touchdowns for the Warriors here tonight. One via the interception, pick 6. That one, the scoop and score. Thomas will be on to kick this extra point try. 7:20 to play in the third. Warriors lead big 34-0. Snap back, hold down, kick on the way, and it's true. So 7:20 to play in the third quarter. Warriors lead now 35-0. We'll take a Hughes Heat and Air break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Leopard Football live on the Leopard Sports Network. Field. Warriors increase their lead after the fumble scoop and score. Now lead 35-0 with 7:20 to play in the third. Thomas on to kick this one away for the Warriors. There's the kick. High end over end kick. Going to be fielded at about the 15, up to the 20, 25. That's Dutton Taylor. Down to the 30. Still on his feet, out across the 30, call it about the 32-yard line or so. So good little return there by the freshman. And he's explosive.
Yes, he is.
I mean, he
can be. He look like he's jogging. The next thing you know, he's gone.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, hits that extra gear, and we seen it on full display. A couple of weeks ago, right here at Burford Field down the far sideline, makes a nice play.
Austin Hines back in at running back.
Yeah, and that makes you wonder about the health of Jake Vaughn. He kind of got banged up there in that first half. Took a pretty good shot in the rib cage, on a tackle, and hadn't seen him since then. Ty Ferguson we have seen him.
You know, that's your backup quarterback. You got taking a pound and
Right, yeah. I've spotted Ferguson down there on the sidelines. He's still got his helmet kind of hanging around. There's Vaughn. So they're both still down there, but so ramming out of the gun, 2 receivers left, 1 to his right. Swing pass over to the left. That's Stubblefield. He's on the loose. Cross midfield down to the 45. Big time play there, and you want to talk about explosive. Bryce Stubblefield. He's another one.
yes, he is. He and Dutton have a very similar running style where they can just turn on the jets.
Yeah. So good chunk play there. Out across midfield. Sets up 1st and 10. 6:27 to play. See if the Leopards can capitalize on that. As Eric mentioned earlier, you've had a handful of big plays here tonight, but the very next play you've gone the opposite direction. Ramming, snap back, fake handoff underneath. Ramming's going to keep it around the left edge. Makes one guy miss out of the 45. And be brought down just shy of the 40. Kicked out of bounds. And really, Eric, that's the way this Leopard offense works. You basically, for lack of a better term, you snowball. You get the one big play, and it leads to more and more and more. Don't get me wrong; they are making capable of that one explosive play and taking it to the house, house call. But it seems like the offense really gets churned and really starts doing well, play after play after play, of positive plays.
Yeah, they had 2 big plays in a row. He has a 5-yard chunk play.
Yeah, and then there was that fake toss that you mentioned early on in that first quarter that was down at the this west end zone here. Washington wasn't having it though. Able to snuff it out. Going to bring up 3rd, and we'll call it 5. 6 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Leopards trail 35-0. Well, here we go, ramming out of the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Austin Hines in the backfield alongside. Ramming, rolling to his right. He's looking, has Padilla underneath. Lets it fly. Padilla gets tangled up, and they're going to get pass interference against the Warriors. And if you're a Warrior fan right there, you're probably thinking, come on now, wasn't anything malicious or just, blatantly obvious, just a corner and the receiver getting his feet tangled up, but
We'll take it.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. On the other hand, if you're a Leopard fan, you'll take it. That'll move the chains. Well, I say that. Yeah, there he goes. Now he's walking it off. Thought for a minute I might have stuck my foot in my mouth. So that is the call. Pass interference against Washington. And also, if you're a Warrior fan, look at it this way. Hey, give up the 15 rather than the big play there.
Yeah.
Very easily, if Padilla keeps his footing there, he might haul that in for a touchdown. So, because he did have his guy beat just by a step or so. That'll bring up 1st and 10. Ball at the 28-yard line of the Warriors. 5:33 to play. Leopards trail 35-0. Snap back, ramming 3-step drop. Has to get rid of it in a hurry. That's Shane Jones. 4th reception of the night. So that's a new wrinkle we hadn't seen much of in the season so far. Coach Embry using some of his tight ends, using big Shane Jones there.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Stay aggressive. He had a good play and had a pass interference. And don't get conservative now. Let's just keep playing. It's not screaming.
Ramming will be out of the gun. Bunch set to his right. Austin Hines to his right. Fakes the toss over to Hines. Ramming's going to keep it around the left. Makes a couple of guys miss. Still on his feet. Ball at a gain of about 7. Good little wrinkle.
Yeah, they set that jumbo set to the right. Basically a quarterback counter.
Call it 3rd and 2. Down to 4:20 to play in the third quarter. Ball to 25. Ramming out of the gun. Two receivers right, one left. Fake handoff underneath to Hines. Ramming's going to keep it out to the 20. Should be good enough for a Leopard 1st and 10. Ramming's finally forced out of bounds.
Inside the red zone.
Yeah, got to convert. Got to go get points.
It's our third trip in the red zone. First time this half. Let's get some points out of it this time.
Ramming will have two receivers left. Hines in the backfield with him. Snaps back. Fake. Nope. Actually gives it to Hines. They're on the left edge. He's got some speed down to the 5. And into the end zone.
Little different pace back down the running back. You just shoot mere, just mere speed.
Yep.
A lot of shiftiness and able to get it in.
So the backup quarterback for the Leopards, Austin Hines, comes in, takes over some of the running back duties here, and able to find his way into the end zone, hits pay dirt from about 17 yards out. So Leopards finally on the board here. 3:57 to play in the third. Trail 35-6 still. But it's progress. Got to convert this 2-point try. Ramming out of the gun. Ferguson in the backfield with him. It'll be a handoff underneath to Stubblefield. Nothing doing. So with 3:57 to play in the third, Leopards still trail 35-6. We'll take a Hughes Heat and Air timeout. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Leopard football live on the Leopard Sports Network. Not on. No. And we are back live here, Burford Field. Ty Ferguson on to kick it away. Little pooch kick. Going to be fielded at about the 35-yard line. Washington will take over 1st and 10. Looked like Hudson Howard there for the Warriors, able to haul that in.
Huh? What are you eating, Jake? Are you eating while you're live on the air?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Jake will be back as soon as he gets done eating.
Ball is placed at the 36-yard line. 1st and 10, Washington.
My apologies. Had all kinds of pretzel cheese in my beard and wherever else. So Warriors take over 1st and 10. Handoff to Cole Scott around the right side. Going to be dragged out of bounds.
Should be a holding call, Jake.
Yeah, where that came in, I believe you're right.
They could get him for holding or blocking him back. I'm not sure what he's going to call.
You know, we could turn this into a segment. Remember how they used to do on Monday Night Football back in the day? They'd always have something up there in the box for those guys to eat. We could do that.
I'd be all right with that. Holding against the Warriors. Back them up 10.
Is that just the second penalty against Washington tonight?
I think so.
Honestly, there really hadn't been a whole lot of. I mean, Lindsey's had 3, I believe. Scott will have two receivers to his left, one to his right. Excuse me. Cantrell will have two to his left, one to his right. Snap back on the slant, and he's going to have completed pass there. So got some of that penalty yardage back. Going to bring up 2nd and about 9 here. Two receivers right, one left this time. Down to 3:20 to play in the third. Fakes the handoff underneath. Cantrell's going to roll and overshoots his intended receiver. Good pursuit there defensively.
Yeah, his receiver was covered up. He really didn't have a place to go with it. Bring up 3rd and 9.
Got to find a way to get off the field right here. Cantrell out of the gun. 3 receivers split left, one to his right. Cole Scott will be in the backfield with him.
Watch the inside slant here.
Fakes a handoff underneath. There is that slant, and that is going to be caught by Roberts there. That's going to move the chains. Manuel Guerrero able to show up just at the same time as the ball, but not able to jar that thing loose. Good strong hands there by Roberts. Move the chains for the Warriors. Now down to the Leopard 45, 2:42 and counting in the third. Cantrell, handoff. That's Cole Scott. Maybe 2 on the play.
Leopards are doing better against the run so far this half.
Yeah. And Washington not going to be in any kind of rush moving forward here. Call it 2nd and 9. Cantrell will be out of the gun. 2 receivers left, one to his right. Snap back, fake handoff, pass across the middle. That's going to be caught. It's Roberts again. And now that you're shutting down the run somewhat, the Leopards, looks like Washington has found something there soft across the middle.
Yeah, that was a tight, hard pass, but they had their receiver on the near side here, on the inside, their inside slot receiver. There was no defender on him.
Move the chains once again for the Warriors. Down to 1:20 to play in the third. Washington's on the move. Cantrell out of the gun. Hand off to Scott. Around the right edge.
Another good gain.
Yep. Now, that's what I was talking about earlier, winning that first down battle. And right there, you're giving up 5, maybe 6 on that play. We'll call it 5. Sets up 2nd and 5. It just makes that offensive play calling for Coach Autry on that other side over there, just makes it that much more, that much easier on him.
Yeah.
A lot more you can do on a 2nd and short rather than a 2nd and long.
And it looks like there's actually 2 Coach Autrys over there.
Handoff again underneath.
That's an hour at the ball field. Looks like another first down.
Dutton Taylor checking into the game for Ryan Horton.
That'll be the end of the third as Coach Beller elects to let this final 20 seconds or so run off the clock. We'll start the fourth quarter after this Hughes Heat and Air timeout. Leopards trail 35-6 We'll take a Hughes Heat and Air break. Don't go anywhere. Fourth quarter coming up right here on the Leopard Sports Network. Welcome back, Burford Field. Start of the fourth quarter. Cantrell out of the gun, handoff underneath. Still on his feet. Going to be brought down about the 15-yard line.
Ethan Silver Jones playing classes.
Tandra brought this to our attention earlier. After the game tonight, the high school girls basketball team are hosting a inter-squad scrimmage just across the way over at Leopard Arena. So
Midnight Madness from like 10:30 to midnight.
But now is that anybody welcome, or is that a closed type of deal, or do we know anybody?
I think everyone's welcome.
So absolutely, if you just looking for something to do later on this evening, go check out the Leopardette basketball squad. Coach Cater and the girls, they'll be having a little inter-squad scrimmage. So, man, that basketball is going to be here before we know it.
I'm excited too. It's going to be an exciting season. Those girls are going to be good.
Yeah. Here we go, 3rd and 4, 10:45 to play. Warriors knocking on the door. Cantrell will be out of the gun. 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. And offensive coordinator Queston Autry. Don't know if they didn't have the right play set up or what, but he was out almost to the numbers out there. Finally gets a timeout called, so we'll keep it here.
You know, hats off to Brody Ramey. The emotional week he's had, and coming here trying to lead his team and doing the best he can. And, you know, he hasn't had a bad game. He had one throw that was pick six that he wished he could take back, but other than that, he's made some good throws and had good runs, and my heart goes out to him and his family.
Yeah. And back on that pass you're talking about there, it was actually deflected there at the line of scrimmage. So that's one of them deals. I mean, if it's not deflected, you know, that very well could have ended up a reception or just falling incomplete. But that's just good defense out there on that edge. They had that player, Ed, get a hand up, bat that ball, and it just so happened to land in the Warriors' hands there. So 3rd and 4, ball at the 15-yard line. Actually, call that the 12-yard line. Cantrell out of the gun. Man comes across in motion. It's going to be a sweep to him underneath. And he's going to go into the end zone for the touchdown. So 10:25 to play in the ball game. Warriors hit pay dirt yet again on the sweep. Lead 41-6. as one of the Warriors trotting in late here. Thomas will be on to kick this extra point. Snap back, hold down, kick on the way. And once again, it's good. So 10:25 to play. Warriors lead 42-6. We'll take a Hughes Heat and Air timeout. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Leopard football live on the Leopard Sports Network.
You want to go?
And we are back live. Missed that kickoff there, but hopefully you got to see it. Just didn't have any audio. Some moron running the computer back here behind us is messing around, doing something.
I'm trying to get the YouTube feed going again.
What it is, he's got too many slides and stuff back there, so he's just constantly playing with something. So 10-19 to play in the ball game. Looks like we're going to have mass subs for the Leopards offensively. As Caden Klingman checks into the ball game, he's going to get the ball there. And out around the right side, gain of maybe 5 on the play. Austin Hines in at quarterback, Manuel Guerrero at receiver. I believe Jack Dodd's in as well. And Hines going to be brought down in the backfield there. It's like Jones has checked in, also at receiver on the far side. Tandra has done nothing but complain this whole day that we've been up here about being cold. And I think I heard her right. It's wintertime. I'm going to have to bundle up. Wow. I mean, it is chilly. Don't get me wrong, but it ain't quite bundling weather yet. It's Klingman around the left edge. So that'll bring up 4th and long. I call it 4th and 7. Leopards will punt this one away. I don't expect much more out of Washington in their offense either. Just try to get out of here 42-6. Everybody.
He now just don't want to get hurt.
Yeah, that's what I was fixing to say. Keep everybody as healthy as you can moving forward and move on to next week. Ramming high end over end punt there. That's going to come to stop right around the 20-yard line. So one of the better punts of the night there for Ramming as he kind of walks off and gives it the little shake like,
Be the worst field position Washington had all night.
Absolutely. Let's see if Washington is elected to start subbing. Seen their coaches up here in the press box. They have made their way down. So I'm guessing they are going to make some subs. That is the case. Apologize. I don't have a Washington roster. Hand off right up the gut. Can be brought down. Gain of maybe 2 on the play. Down to 7:50 to play in the ballgame. Leopards trail big, 42-6. Washington will be out of the gun. 2 receivers to each side. Snap back. Again, handoff around the left edge. And still on his feet. Should be enough for a Warrior first down. Got a couple of scores here for you. Comanche at Frederick. Frederick on top big there, 53-0. Lexington at Atoka. Atoka up big, 47-8, third quarter. Newkirk at number 3, Millwood. Millwood on top big, 44-0. To 6:30 to play. It's going to be a keeper around the left edge, still on his feet, down the far sidelines, and finally shoved out of bounds. Purcell at Community Christian just started the fourth quarter. Community Christian on top, 14-6 there. Washington out of the gun. It's handoff right up the gut, met by a couple of Leopards.
Good hit there.
Oh, yeah, good hard tackle. That Baylor West Virginia game we was talking about start this second half. 7:06 to play in the fourth. West Virginia leads 40-37.
Wow, what a game.
That is crazy. Now, if you're interested in what UCF's doing, jump into the Big 12 next year. They're up on Temple right now. 7:30 to play in the fourth. UCF leads 70-13.
Man, when I told you back.
Yeah, everything I'm seeing is apparently the quarterback, he's got 7 total touchdowns. So,
Wow.
something's working right for UCF. That's going to be interesting. I mean, for the most part, that the Big 12 reformation for next year. You're going to bring in BYU. You can consider that kind of Big 12 country out there in Utah. It's out west. Obviously, Houston. That's the central part of the United States. Cincinnati, central-ish part of the United States. And then you bring in UCF, and they're a time zone over. And that's going to be, and I believe UCF plays out of, what are they, out of Orlando?
Yeah.
So that's going to be, think about that travel from Ames, Iowa to Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be, as Tandra said, I bet they don't freeze. No, not in Orlando.
For the Big 12 sake, I was hoping they'd get Arizona and Arizona State maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd have been cool to have them. So
Not anything other than another Texas team.
well, Houston's coming. So
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out next year, especially if OU and Texas, if that big buyout from them two moving to the SEC. If that don't happen next year, they're obviously still going to be in the Big 12. It's going to make for some weird road games. That's for sure. .318 to play. Leopards will take over after the Warrior punt. Trail 42-6.
Got a new quarterback.
Who we got checking in now?
Not sure. Parker Dotson's out there.
Yep, believe you're right. That is going to be number 11, Parker Dotson, checking in. Now at quarterback. Got to see him. That was last week over at Little Axe. Dotson came in and got to throw it around a little bit. So this time it's a handoff around the right side to Caden Klingman. You know, if Coach Hembry could somehow put about 15, 20 pounds on Caden, bulk him up a little bit, he's liable to be – I mean, he's already shifty and you know, he's dangerous in that way, but
he's a stud, man.
You put a little bit of weight on that kid, and he's liable to end up being a darn good running back. Just a sophomore.
I like the way he runs. He runs hard.
Yeah. Well, we say it every week we get to see him. You know, he falls forward. He's one of them running backs that he's going to try to deliver that final blow and be falling the right direction, falling forward. It's like when we get offside. This handoff again underneath to Klingman. Klingman's still on his feet. Another good hard run there by the sophomore.
Another first down.
And yeah, that will move the chains.
The first down for the Leopards, or
Washington's got everybody playing up. I'd like to see him let him throw it. They won't, but
let it fly. Again, handoff. That's Klingman around the left edge, still on his feet, down the near sidelines. And really, you know, Caden's got good vision too. You know, he sees just the slightest hole open up and he's able to hit it.
He hits a crease.
Yeah. Eric said that'll move the chains down to 126 to play in the ball game. Dotson out of the gun, 3 receivers to his right. Klingman split right as well. That's again handoff to Klingman. Right up the gut, still on his feet.
Gain of 5.
Down to 52 seconds. Dotson out of the gun. Snap back. It's handoff Klingman around the right side. Makes one guy miss. Still on his feet down to the 35. It'll be brought down just across the 25-yard line or so. Once again, move the chains for the Leopards. Yeah, we'll talk about, you know, as this clock runs down here, should be the final 42-6. Leopards are going to come up short here. But let's move on to next week. OCS coming into town, the Royals. Seen them, golly, it's been a handful of years ago. Lindsay went up there and played them. But I expect OCS to come in, and obviously they got the Job kid. You know, he's a Michigan State commit. Going to be interesting. It's going to be fun to get to see him to play. You know, bottom line, you know, he's obviously got a ton of talent, Division I talent. So looking forward to seeing him and Leopards just got to, and we talked about it coming into this ball game, before we got started here. Rough week, leading up to this ball game here tonight. You just gotta fight through it the best you can, as players and coaches and as a community. And Lindsay comes out tonight and you could tell it, they were a little bit flat, a little bit, just wasn't quite their normal selves. And that's to be expected, man. That you can't, come out of this ball game with any kind of criticism when it comes to that,
No,
I mean,
not at all.
obviously, yeah, you do. You give up the 42 points. You'd like your defense to be a little bit more sound, but that's one of them deals, man. That's a tough situation for these kids. I guarantee you could go down there and ask, all 42 of them or however many there's on the team, have you ever been in a situation like this? Heck no. They've never lost a classmate. They've never lost a teammate. So just tough situation altogether. And for the coaches to still come out and have a game plan and have to put the coach's hat on and the whistle, to begin this week, it's tough. And, you just got to credit those guys, credit those coaches, credit the kids for coming out and being able to perform here tonight. Obviously, ball game didn't end up the way you would like it to, but you just got to hit the reset button and move on to tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a tough day also, but just move past it, again, as a team, as coaches and as a community. And it's tough, but, it's better days are ahead, that's for sure.
They are. And right now, everyone just needs to pray for the families, all the classmates and the family and friends of Tristan Manning, and
Yeah, make sure.
and, for healing and let them grieve and enjoy his memory.
Yeah, no doubt. So with all that being said, pretty tough night here altogether, with everything that happened over the week. And then, obviously, Leopards, didn't come out on top here, so you lose your first district ball game of the season, 42-6 to the Warriors. It's just part of it. Washington's got a darn good football team. They're back-to-back state championship appearances, come up on the short end of the stick both seasons, but they're a darn good football team, and look for them to raise a little cane come playoff time as well. But just got to reset, get ready to go next week. OCS rolling into town, so another key matchup there, and hopefully Leopards can respond and come out on top there next week. But with all that, we're going to go ahead and say good night. Eric, Tandra, Robert, good job, guys. Appreciate everything y'all do. And we will sign off until next week, live from Burford Field, OCS. We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.